Good morning. You're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of the news this hour. In the next half an hour, we get to everything that's making it to the headlines. First, the top stories. Lord Jagannath Puri Rathyatra begins in Odisha and Ahmedabad. COVID guidelines being followed. This year marks the 144th Rathyatra of Lord Jagannath. President, Vice President, Prime Minister greet the nation. Union Home Minister Amit Shah attends Aarti at Jagannath Temple in Ahmedabad ahead of Rathyatra. Shah, along with his family members, offers puja. He will inaugurate several development works in Gandhinagar. Rains wreak havoc in Himachal Pradesh, trigger flash floods. Mandi Pathankot highway blocked in Shimla. IMD forecast moderate to heavy rains and snowfall in higher reaches in the coming days. Heavy lightning claims 20 lives in Rajasthan, 7 children among those killed. Rajasthan government announces compensation of ₹4 lakh each for the next to the kin. Prime Minister expresses grief on the incident. Haryana government extends lockdown till July 19th in the state to curb the spread of COVID-19 with slew of relaxations, including for students. Jammu and Kashmir government lifts weekend curfew in 16 districts. Education institutions to remain closed till July 31st. And in sports, in Euro 2020, Italy crowned European champions. Donnarumma saves 2 England penalties en route to 3-2 shootout win. All right, those are the top stories. Let's get to the news in detail. Now, in Odisha, the world-famous annual Rathyatra of Lord Jagannath has begun at Puri in Odisha from today. Massive security arrangements are in place for smooth conduct of the 9 days festival amidst strict COVID protocols. The government has completely banned presence of people at the Grand Road for the second year running. Meanwhile, district administration has clamped Section 144 in and around Puri to stop inflow of devotees for the Yatra. The Yatra will continue till July 20th. Only servitors who've been fully vaccinated would be allowed to participate. Nearly 3,000 servitors who were found RT-PCR negative are participating in the performance of temple rituals. All hotels, dharmshalas and guest houses have been vacated ahead of the grand day. Rathyatra is also known as Gundicha Jatra, which is birthplace of the deities Lord Jagannath, Lord Balbhadra and Devi Subhadra. The festival signifies annual sojourn of the Holy Trinity to their birthplace. The sibling deities will be carried from their sanctum sanctorum to their respective chariots, means one after another in a ceremonial procession, followed by chariot sweeping ritual by Puri Gajapati King Divya Singh Dev. After that, the chariots will be pulled in order. President Ramnath Kovind has extended warm greetings to all the countrymen, especially all the devotees in Odisha on the auspicious occasion of Rathyatra of Lord Jagannath. He also wished, with the blessings of Lord Jagannath, lives of all countrymen remain full of happiness, prosperity and health. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has greeted people on the eve of Rathyatra. Vice President in a message said, Lord Jagannath's Puri Rathyatra is one of most revered and much awaited festivals for devotees from Odisha and across the country. It symbolizes our plural and inclusive ethos and holds immense spiritual significance for the participants. Truly signifying the name of Lord Jagannath, the Lord of Universe, the Yatra is unparalleled in its grandeur and splendor, with magnificent raths or the chariots carrying the deities. As India and the rest of the world are passing through an unprecedented situation due to COVID-19, I appeal to everyone to celebrate Rath Yatra festival with utmost care by adhering to the COVID safety norms. May the pious and noble ideas and ideals associated with Rath Yatra enrich our lives with peace, harmony, health and happiness. Prime Minister Modi has also extended greetings to everyone on the special occasion of Rathyatra. He took to Twitter and said, "We bow to Lord Jagannath and pray that his blessings bring good health and prosperity in everyone's lives. Jai Jagannath." The annual Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath in Ahmedabad city of Gujarat has started. The event generally attracts huge crowd. However, Rath Yatra this year is being taken out amidst a curfew on its route to bar people from taking part in it in view of the COVID pandemic. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who is on a 3-day visit to his home state Gujarat, attended Mangal Aarti at Lord Jagannath Temple in Ahmedabad in the wee hours today. The Aarti was attended by Amit Shah and his family before the annual Rath Yatra takes off from the historic Jagannath Temple in Ahmedabad today. The temple is all decked up ahead of Rath Yatra in Gujarat. The security has been tightened outside the temple ahead of the procession. Later in the day, Union Home Minister Amit Shah will visit Nardipur village of Gandhinagar district to launch the beautification work of a village pond there. From the same venue, he will virtually inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of developmental works worth 26 crore rupees. After this, he will inaugurate the oxygen plant built by Sun Foundation at Gandhinagar Civil Hospital. The Home Minister will also inaugurate the newly built Centre of Excellence for Research and Analysis of Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances at the National Forensic Science University in Gandhinagar. This centre will help trace drugs and psychotropic substances. It will also work on developing indigenous crime scene kits, which can help in prompt testing of drug samples that are seized by different agencies. Apart from this, the Home Minister will take stock of the labs and other facilities at the National Forensic Science University. From here, the Union Minister will inaugurate a virtual training module on investigation of crime against women for police officers. Later in the evening, Amit Shah will visit Raj Bhavan in Gujarat's capital Gandhinagar, where he will honour people who have made special contributions during the pandemic. The Home Minister will also inaugurate the newly constructed community centre at Swami Narayan Mandir at Adalaj in Gandhinagar. And prayers were also offered at Lord Jagannath Temple in the national capital. Devotees gathered and also followed the COVID protocols at the temple. Incessant rainfall in Himachal Pradesh has crippled normal life. While heavy rainfall triggered a flood-like situation, the Mandi-Pathankot highway in the state was blocked. The state has been receiving heavy rainfall for the last few days. Flash floods in Dharamshala caused damages to the public properties. Meanwhile, the Met Department has said that Himachal Pradesh will experience moderate to heavy rains in the coming days. It has issued an orange weather warning of heavy to very heavy rains in plains and mid-hills today and tomorrow, and yellow weather warning for July 14th and 15th. And due to heavy downpour, 20 people, including 7 children, died in the lightning strikes incident in Rajasthan on Sunday. Among the deceased children, 4 were from Kota district and another 3 from Badi in Dholpur district. Now, the Rajasthan government has directed authorities concerned to offer all kinds of assistance to the families of the deceased and the injured persons. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has announced compensation of Rs 4 lakh each for the family members of those who died in the strikes. Rajasthan Chief Minister has called an emergency meeting of the state's Disaster Management Department to take stock of the accidents that occurred due to lightning strikes on Sunday. The meeting is slated to take place in Jaipur today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the incident of heavy lightning in Rajasthan. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "In Rajasthan, many people have lost their lives due to lightning in some parts of the state. It has caused great deal of pain. I extend my deepest condolences to the families of the deceased." Prime Minister has also announced an ex gratia amount of rupees 2 lakh each from Prime Minister National Relief Fund to the next of the kin of those who lost their lives due to lightning in parts of Rajasthan. Rupees 50,000 would be provided to the injured. A quick look at the COVID situation. Now, before that, the Prime Minister also briefed about the loss of lives and damages due to lightning in parts of Uttar Pradesh. He announced an ex gratia of rupees 2 lakh each from Prime Minister National Relief Fund to the next of the kin of the deceased, and also rupees 50,000 for the injured. Prime Minister has also expressed grief over loss of lives due to lightning in parts of Madhya Pradesh. In a tweet, he said that the state government will provide all possible assistance to the affected. Also, from Prime Minister National Relief Fund, rupees 2 lakh would be given to the next of the kin of the deceased, and also rupees 50,000 would be given to the injured. Up next, we'll take a quick look at the COVID situation from across the country. As per released by the Union Health Ministry, more than 3 crore total recoveries have been registered across the country so far. Out of this, 39,649 patients recovered during the last 24 hours, and with this, the recovery rate has increased to 97.22%. 37.73 crore vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. 37,154 new cases have been recorded in the last 24 hours. The country's active caseload currently stands at 4,50,899, and with this, the active cases constitute 1.46% of the total cases. The weekly positivity rate remains below 5%, currently at 2.32%, while the daily positivity rate at 2.59% is less than 3% for 21 consecutive days now. The testing capacity has also been substantially ramped up, with 43.23 crore tests done so far. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the union government has been supporting the states and union territories by providing COVID vaccines free of cost. So far, more than 38.86 crore vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories through all the sources. Of this, the total consumption, including wastages, till 8 a.m. today is 37 crore 31 lakh 88,834 doses. More than 1.54 crore balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories and private hospitals to be administered. Now, 63 lakh 84,230 doses are in the pipeline. Most states in the country have been witnessing steady decline in the new daily COVID cases. Following this, the state governments have started the unlock process. Many states have allowed reopening of malls, shops, markets, gymnasiums and restaurants. In Jammu and Kashmir, there will be no weekend lockdown in 16 districts, even as the government extended closure of educational institutions till the end of this month. The daily night curfew, however, will continue from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. in these districts. The 16 districts are Jammu, Kathua, Samba, Poonch, Rajouri, Kishtwar, Ramban, Udhampur, Anantnag, Bandipora, Baramulla, Badgam, Gandarbal, Pulwama, Kulgam and Shopian. Besides, the government has ordered that all universities, colleges and technical and skill development institutions in Jammu and Kashmir shall remain closed for imparting on-campus and in-person education to the students till July 31st. In Haryana, the state government has extended lockdown till 19th of July to curb the spread of COVID-19. However, a slew of relaxations has been provided during this period. Universities and colleges are allowed to open for students for doubt clearing classes, practical classes in labs, practical examinations and offline exams with strict adherence of requisite social distancing norms and other guidelines. Maximum of 100 people are allowed to attend weddings and other social events. Movie halls in the state are allowed to operate with 50% capacity. Night and weekend curfew in Punjab has been removed from today as COVID-19 positivity rate dropped in the state to 0.4% on Friday. Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh ordered lifting of the weekend and night curfew while permitting gatherings of 100 persons indoors and 200 persons outdoors from today. Besides bars, cinema halls, restaurants, spas, swimming pools, gymnasiums, malls, sport complexes, museums, zoos have also been allowed to open from today. However, it is mandatory for all eligible staff members and visitors to take at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Schools will continue to remain closed while colleges, coaching centers and all other institutions of higher learning will be allowed for those able to produce vaccine certificates. The DGP has been instructed to fine all political leaders violating COVID-19 rules while holding rallies and also protest meetings. They have been asked to issue challans against those who violate the COVID protocols. Arunachal Pradesh government has turned down the request for a week-long total lockdown in the state capital from today. The government, however, suggested a slew of measures to check the spike in COVID-19 cases. In a letter to Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar, Itanagar Capital Complex Deputy Commissioner Potom on Saturday sought approval for a total lockdown for a week from July 12th, citing the rise in COVID cases. The Health Secretary, however, advised the ICC authorities to continue identifying micro-containment zones where the positivity rate is above 5% and also undertake active, effective containment or surveillance measures. In Tamil Nadu, under the ongoing unlock exercise, bus services have resumed from today to neighbouring Puducherry, and also retail outlets are also being permitted to open. Now, the retail shops will remain open till 9 p.m. Restaurants, shops and a variety of other retail stores were earlier allowed to function till 8 p.m. with 50% occupancy rider. Till July 19th, schools, colleges, zoos, cinemas, bars and swimming pools would continue to be closed down. Tamil Nadu government is scheduled to launch Sputnik V vaccine drive starting from today. The slots need to be booked through the CoWIN portal. The Goa government has also announced extension of curfew in the state till 19th of July with certain relaxations. Gyms in the state are allowed to open with 50% capacity. The state government had last week allowed maximum of 100 people to attend the weddings, cultural, religious and political events. Let's get to international news now. Armed civilians and Afghan forces on Sunday repelled Taliban attacks and inflicted heavy casualties on the group in the northern Takhar province. Taliban carried out a massive offensive early in the morning to capture Taloqan city, the capital of Takhar province, but faced resistance from armed civilians and Afghan security forces. Takhar governor said that 55 Taliban fighters were killed and 90 others were wounded. Taliban gains have been especially dramatic in northern provinces where they had long been kept at bay. All Takhar districts have fallen to Taliban and only Taloqan, the capital city, is under the control of Afghan security forces. The Islamist insurgents have been advancing for weeks, an offensive that has accelerated as the United States pulled out of its main base, effectively ending its two-decade intervention. Talks between Afghan government and Taliban negotiators in Qatar have failed to make substantive progress, though the warring sides have been holding meetings in the recent days. Former South African President Jacob Zuma's challenge against his sentence in the Constitutional Court will be heard today. Zuma has challenged 15-month sentence for contempt of court partly on the grounds of his alleged frail health and the risk of catching COVID. He denies that there was widespread corruption under his leadership but has refused to cooperate with the inquiry which was set up in his final weeks in office. Meanwhile, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has said that there was no justification for violence in the wake of former President Jacob Zuma's imprisonment. He added that the unrest was damaging the government's efforts to rebuild the economy. Shops were looted overnight, a section of highway was closed, and stick-wielding protesters marched through Johannesburg on Sunday. Up next, we take a quick look at the global updates on COVID-19. As per the figures, more than 18 crore 76 lakh people have so far tested positive for the virus across the globe, while the number of recoveries stands above 17 crore 15 lakh. The deadly virus has claimed more than 40 lakh 48,000 lives worldwide. The US remains worst affected from COVID-19. The number of positive cases in the country has crossed 3 crore 47 lakh. COVID-19 related deaths in the US stand above 6 lakh 22,000. In Cuba, thousands of people on Sunday took to the streets from Havana to Santiago to express frustration over COVID-19 pandemic restrictions. They even expressed their anger over the pace of COVID-19 vaccination, which they say was being neglected by the government. Special forces, jeeps with machine guns mounted on the back were seen in Havana, and Diaz-Canel called on supporters to confront the provocations. There were a few arrests and scuffles, but no major confrontations. President Diaz-Canel blamed the US for the unrest in a nationally televised speech on Sunday afternoon. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson detailed proposals to eliminate series of rules on mask wearing, social contact and the instruction to work from home are expected to get the final go-ahead today. UK Health Minister has meanwhile asserted that many restrictions will be lifted, but mask wearing in indoor enclosed places is expected to remain in place. Experts have expressed over the government lifting restrictions even as COVID infections are rising. The government has, however, argued that the high rate of vaccinations in Britain means the link between infections and serious illness or death has largely been broken. Johnson's government sets health policy for England, but not for Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has announced that a shipment of COVID vaccines has been moved forward to August 1st, which will, together with a swap deal with South Korea, will allow Israel to maintain a continuous stock of Pfizer vaccines. Now, the rapid spread of Delta variant has sent vaccination rates in Israel back up as a new infection has risen over the past month from single digits to around 450 a day. The Pfizer shipment had been widely expected to arrive in September. Also, yesterday Israel said that it will begin offering a booster shot to adults with weak immune systems, but it was still weighing whether a third round of shots should be given to the general public. Let's get to sports updates now. In Euro 2020, Italy won the European Championship for the first time since 1968. Donnarumma saved 2 England penalties en route to a 3-2 shootout win after the teams had fought out a 1-each extra time draw at the raucous Wembley on Sunday. The giant keeper saved from Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka after Marcus Rashford hit a post, as Federico Bernardeschi, Leonardo Bonucci and also Domenico Berardi all scored for the Italians. All right, that was it in this edition of the News This Hour. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.